Hi dear friends, today we're going to start our first biology lesson, which is classification of living organisms. Be with me till the end of the lesson and learn about classification, importance of classification, history of classification, binomial nomenclature, and taxonomic groups. So now let's start our lesson with a question. What does classify mean? Obviously, it's to group living organisms according to their similar or different features or characteristics is classification. And as you see over there, we classified living organisms according to their similar shapes. And the science of classification is taxonomy, and the person who works on classification is taxonomist. Taxonomy is actually describing the names and classifying living organisms, like whether they are plants or animals. If they are animals, whether they are mammals, insects, or birds. So now let's see why to classify, why we do have to classify living organisms. Firstly, in the world there is 2.5 million different organisms, and we have to organize them. Otherwise, we would get confused about them. We cannot find main information that we want about each individual. So that's why there is a universal way of classifying living organisms that scientists are using, and because of that they can find out lots of information about different things. Now let's talk about benefits of classification. I mean, which benefits we can get by classification. Firstly, we can learn about characteristics of each living organism individually or in groups, and we can find information about them quickly because they are organized, they are specific, they got specific names, and prevent misnomers. Sometimes by hearing something's name, we can judge their look, judge their characteristics and features. But sometimes names can mislead us, like in jellyfish, which is not really a fish, or seahorse, which is not horse, and dogfish, which is even not looking like dog. But by classifying, by giving them specific names, we can understand about their features and we can differentiate their names. The next title that we are going to discuss is History of Classification. Have to know, 2000 years ago, Aristotle was the first taxonomist who divided living organisms according to their habitats and shapes, like he divided living organisms into two parts, plants and animal. We're going to discuss right now that Aristotle, the first taxonomist, divided living organisms into two parts, animal and plant. Further, he divided plants according to their shapes and size, and animals according to their blood. Animals with blood, animals without blood. Further, he divided animals according to their habitats, like flying animals, swimming animals, and land animals. His classification got some problems because according to his classification, bat and bird were in same family. Obviously, we can understand bat is a mammal and got lots of difference with the bird. And the other mistake was like penguin and sheep belongs to the same family, which is not correct because penguin is a bird. So whether there was so much problems in his classification, but people used his classification 2000 years till the second person, Linus, classified living organisms in a different way, and he classified living organisms according to their structures, and it was the first formal system of taxonomy. As we said, he classified living organisms according to their structure. For example, over there we can see the arms of human, cat, whale, and bat. They got different functions and different structure as well. he used that differences for classifying living organisms. And also he developed a naming system that we are using it up to now, which is binomial nomenclature. Bi stands for two, nomial name, nomenclature is system of naming. Means according to binomial nomenclature there is two names for each living organisms. For example, Homo sapiens is the scientific name for human and made up of two parts like Homo sapiens. So now let's talk about binomial nomenclature more. In binomial nomenclature, scientists giving a specific name for each organism, and this specific name is made up of two parts like Panthera leo. The first part, Panthera, is the genus name, which is a group of similar organisms that have different characteristics, and Leo is the species name, which is the smallest and most specific classification category. For naming each organism, we have to use two names. The first part is the genus and the second part is the species name. So, biologists using binomial nomenclature because common names can make us confused. For example, that guy got lots of common names like black bear, cinnamon bear, American bear, North American black bear. That's why in different locations people can call bear as different names. But if there is a specific name like Ursus americanus, so scientists all over the world can call that animal with this name, and they can discuss about this animal more better, because having a specific name can making people realize better or making them understand better about something. So we can say that binomial nomenclature gives a specific name for each organism, which is a universal name. It means scientists all over the world can use from that name. Now let's learn about rules of scientific name. If we want to write scientific name of something, we have to use binomial nomenclature. Means we have to write a name with two parts, which is genus and species name. And we have to write the genus first letter with capital letter. But for the species there is no rule like that. And if we want to print the scientific name of something, we have to italicize it. And if we want to write it down, we have to underline it. And also they invent a taxonomic group. So a named group of organisms called taxa. For example, there is a named group of red fox, as you can see over there. And in this taxa, they started from the broadest and ended with the most specific one, which is species. And in taxa there is 7 chief groups making up the scientific classification. The first or the most specific one is species, and groups of related species are making genus, groups of related genus are making family, groups of related families are making order, groups of related orders are making class, groups of related class are making phylum, groups of related phylums are making kingdom, and the most broadest one is domain. Domain can include one or more kingdom in it. Thank you for being with me till the end of the lesson. That was all about classification. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.